Tonight, the House passing an Iran war powers resolution in a 215 to 208 vote. Measure now heads to the Senate in a bid to limit President Trump's ability to continue military operations without explicit congressional authorization. 4 Republicans sided with Democrats in favor of it. Joining me now, House Oversight Committee member, Texas Congressman Brandon Gill. Congressman, it is always great to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to get you started on the war powers resolution. It passed the House. It's done that before. It's going to go to the Senate. You had 4 Republicans who joined with Democrats to pass that thing. What does it mean?
Well, listen, I suspect this is going to die in the Senate, although I don't like leaving things up to the Senate. Listen, I think that our job as Republicans should be right now to ensure that the administration has the latitude that they need to bring this conflict to a satisfying conclusion, a conclusion that's satisfying to both the United States and, by the way, to the rest of the world. And I think that the way that we do that is giving the president the space so that he can continue diplomatic negotiations, which they have been doing. So that's why I voted against the war powers resolution, and the vast majority of Republicans in Congress did as well.
Okay. Look, let's dig into this. This is what I really want to talk to you about. Tonight, the House also passing an anti-fraud bill specifically targeting states' improper payments to child care programs. You are heading up a fraud task force in the House, and we want to play a clip from today's inaugural hearing focusing on Ohio Medicaid fraud. Watch this.
Has Somali immigration been good for Ohio?
I'm processing your question, and I have to say that I was almost brought to tears just now.
72% of Somali immigrants are on welfare.
The rate and the level of hateful rhetoric based on false information
at an astounding rate, and I think that most Ohioans would have a problem with that.
The lack of even humanity.
Congressman, cards on the table. I am a Minnesotan. I care deeply about the question you just asked, and it struck me that you didn't get an answer. What did you think?
Well, it was incredible. This is a very simple question. We know for a fact that it was predominantly Somali immigrants who conducted the fraud in Minnesota. We know that that is true according to our investigation in Ohio as well. What we learned today in the hearing was that there are reports that the 2 communities have been coordinating with one another, that some of these are some of the same people, some of the same entities. So I think that a straightforward question, if we are really serious about combating waste, fraud, and abuse, a straightforward question that we need to ask is mass immigration from Somalia good for the American people, or is it not? And I think that if we want to get to the bottom of this, we need to ask questions like that. That's it. That's not the politically correct thing to ask, but it is core to ensuring the financial stability of these programs and stopping waste and stopping your tax dollars from going to scammers and to criminals.
It was pretty clear to me, look, I don't know this, but it seemed pretty clear to me that she was trying to insinuate that at the bottom of your question was racism, okay? And I would argue, and watching the fraud in Minnesota and watching in Ohio, at the bottom of your question isn't racism, it's data. You are looking at the data and saying, explain the data to me, and how are you using the data to save your taxpayers' money that's being ripped off? Congressman, if we don't get past that, we never deal with any of the fraud because it always stops at the charge of racism or bigotry or hate or whatever they want to call it.
Well, that's exactly what happened in Ohio. Whenever whistleblowers came forward and said, we think that some of these programs are being defrauded at a large scale, the Walz administration stepped in and they tried to silence whistleblowers by accusing them of being racist. Whenever you allow political correctness to dictate the terms of conversation, whenever we're asking real important policy questions, you cannot allow the left to shift the conversation and blame us for trying to stop fraud. So I think that it is incumbent upon Republicans, especially elected officials, to not back down whenever the left wants to call us racist, and they have no basis whatsoever to do that. You know, fraud would be ended so much faster in the United States if Democrats would answer those simple questions like, does immigration from Somalia benefit the American people or not? If Democrats would play ball on that, I think we could come to a pretty good conclusion on this.
Yeah, because the money that gets ripped off is money that comes from Republican taxpayers and Democrat taxpayers, too. Congressman Brandon Gill, we got to leave it there. Great to see you tonight. Always appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.